Thank you. So how's everybody doing tonight? Might be a short show tonight. After spending 28 days doing the Dragon Castle from Wood Trick, which was very cool, I thought we'd lighten things up a little bit. I just opened this. I think it showed up a couple days ago, and I opened it a few minutes ago. I think it says 2 to 4 players. Let's see here. 2 to 4 players, 15 minutes, ages 8 and up. So it's kind of a kid's game, potentially. It looks like it's like a seesaw, and you have to like stack up the... I don't know. I don't know what this is. We're going to look at it. We're going to see what it is. As I say, it could be a short episode. It says Kilter. I think that's the name of the game. There's a little trademark symbol there. I don't know why it says Torsten Maroid there. Math and STEM. SimplyFun. Play changes everything. Something like that. Kilter, there it is again with the teeter-totter sort of thing. So it's kind of like, I don't know, some kind of educational Jenga. I don't know. What's in the box? Seesaw. Yep, seesaw. 1 seesaw, 12 red blocks, 16 blue blocks, 20 yellow blocks, 1 rule booklet, 24 green blocks. By the way, that Torsten Maroid, that's the game designer. So is this an original game? Does Kilter exist? I mean, I could sort of see someone like organically creating this game, like with some seesaw and some boxes or milk crates or whatever, like at the park. Has it existed as a board game before? I don't know. Has anyone played it? It doesn't sound or look familiar to me, but it seems very natural, like something people would play. I don't think it takes much, to do this. I mean, I think that you don't have to like be a genius to figure this out. Like, well, we don't know the instructions yet, but just the concept of like stacking stuff on a seesaw until like, it tilts over and someone wins and someone else loses. Is the loser like the one who puts the block that makes it fall? I don't know. Let's see. All right. I think we can get this out at this point. It's always tricky, right? Like, how do you get this out? I'm trying to separate the top from the bottom here. See what's going on in there. All right. We're going to play some Kilter. Here's the instructions. There's the seesaw. There's the blocks. Let's take a look at the instructions, shall we? What do we got to do here? Levers are made up of 4 parts. The beam or bar, the fulcrum or pivot point. Why do these all have 2 names? The effort or force, and the load or weight. A seesaw, or teeter-totter, I guess you can call it, is considered a first-class lever because the fulcrum is located between the load and the effort or force trying to move the weight. The closer the load is to the fulcrum, the easier it is to lift. What am I getting, an education here? Oh, you can move the fulcrum? Is that like allowed? I don't know. Let's see. Other examples of first-class levers include the crowbar, boating oars, and scissors. Scissors are first-class fulcrums? Is that like a definition, first class? Scissors are top-tier fulcrums. In Kilter, gravity is the effort. Keep a steady hand as you play, and think about how the location of the blocks you are placing, the load, affects the balance on the fulcrum. Object of the game. Stack as many blocks as you can on the raised arms of the seesaw. Position your blocks high and wide to make it tricky for your opponents, but plan your moves carefully. If raised arm lowers to the table, your turn is over. If a raised arm lowers to the table, your turn is over. So if the teeter-totter touches the table, the turn is over? I don't know. And if any blocks fall off, they're all yours. Oh, so is the object to get rid of all your blocks? The first player to place all the blocks on the seesaw wins. So if you knock blocks off, they become your blocks. If you get rid of all your blocks, you win. If your teeter-totter touches the ground, you lose. Video tutorial. Should we try to watch that? I don't know. Sometimes when I try to load those tutorials, YouTube sound blocks me. They don't like when you do that. For some reason. Anyway, where was this thing? On the internet, obviously. SimplyFun.com/how-to-play. Well, there's going to be more games than just this one game, right? SimplyFun.com/how-to-play. That was from a previous episode. I know it looks like it makes no sense in this context, but that just was there. SimplyFun.com/how-to-play. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Arctic Raiders. Well, that's not the game we want to play, though. I think we want to play Kilter. They got a lot of games here. Do you think we need the sound on? I could turn the sound on, but I'm never quite sure if I'm doing it right. Well, I can stick in the headset. Let's just start it. No. Let's try to get the sound on. All right, it's on here, and then I gotta go here and turn on HDMI 2. All right, here we go. Oh, why is it playing in full screen?
Find yourself going head to head with the.
I tried to get it
pick
to
up during play.
Full screen
With
and
Kilter.
instead advance to the end. All right, let's try it again. That still doesn't look like full screen, but whatever.
Hi,
Kilter.
and welcome to Simply Fun's online school of playology. In this session, we're going to have fun with physics. No, really, we are. With Simply Fun's Kilter, the game of levers and balance, you get to use your judgment and patience to ensure you make the most of each turn. Kilter is played with 2 to 4 players ages 8 and up. Kilter comes with a wooden seesaw and wooden blocks, 12 red, 16 blue, 20 yellow,
By the
and
way, you
24
guys can hear
green
the
ones.
sound, but I can't because I didn't put the
The
headphones
blocks are
in my
different
ears.
sizes
It's
and
too
weights
late
to
now.
help you make sure you don't tip the scale.
Got to do that next time.
Kilter introduces kids to the physics of
All right,
levers and predicting
that's
outcomes.
enough of that. Let's just try to play this. All right. HDMI 2 is off. I don't mind if it still sends the sound. All right, now back to here. That's not right. Okay, yeah, back to here. All right, end of the game. The first player to place all their blocks. How do you determine who gets set up? All right, let's go back to the instructions here. How do you know who gets what blocks? Place the seesaw in the center. For a 2-player game, give each player 4 red, 6 blue, 8 yellow, and 10 green. For a 3 to 4 player, give each other 3 red, 4 blue, 5 yellow, and 6 green. Return any unused blocks to the box. The player who most recently saw a playground seesaw goes first. Example of a 4-player setup. All right, I think we're just going to place blocks on and see what happens, but because I'm only one person here. But I'll read you the instructions. On your turn, place 1 or more blocks on one of the raised arms. So you can place multiple blocks. Each block you choose to place must be on the same raised arm. Okay, so you're not going to be able to win this in one turn. Maybe if you go 4th, you can. I don't know. But you got to place all your blocks on the same arm. Blocks may be placed anywhere on the chosen raised arm, even stacked on top of each other, but they may not be stacked on the center of the seesaw. Yeah, that'd be cheating. You may not touch or move the seesaw, only the block you are placing. You may not adjust. You may choose to end your turn at any time. However, if any blocks fall off the seesaw, Raised arm of the seesaw touches the table. Your turn is over. Collect any blocks that have not fallen off the seesaw and add them. No, collect any blocks that have fallen off the seesaw. Add them to your pile. Now it's the next player's turn. So place your blocks and any blocks that fall off. As it's the end of the game. Try this. All right, what is this? For a more challenging game, all 6 spaces on the seesaw's arm should be occupied by at least one piece. Okay, so you create a little mini game for yourself. You've got to use all the slots. Before the players can start to stack blocks on top of one another, all the other rules remain the same. So, does the arm, is it your arm for the entire game, or only, by the way, this thing is still playing away. Hopefully it's not still making noise. Let me just check that. I think I cut its microphone. Yeah, I did. I cut the microphone. I cut the microphone of everything but what's actually a microphone. Hold on a second. I want to confirm that. All right, that video stopped playing anyway, so I don't know for how long that was playing. But I'm just confirming that, yeah, my mic is the only thing that's mic'd. All right, fine. So here's my question. When you pick an arm that you're filling up, is it your arm to fill for the entire game or just for that turn? I missed that either in the video or in the instructions. Let's read that again. On your turn, place one or more blocks on one of the raised arms. Each block you choose to place must be on the same raised arm and set one at a time. Blocks may be placed anywhere on the chosen raised arm and stacked on top, but they may not be stacked on the center. You may not touch or move the seesaw, only the block you're placing. Seesaw, you may choose to end your turn at any time. However, if any block, collect any blocks that have fallen. Well, the way I read it, it's your arm only for the length of that turn, and however many you put on during that turn. That's how I'm reading it. Maybe it's different, but that's what I think. Okay, so the fulcrum is built in there. All right, so let's just start stacking blocks and see what happens. Like I said, it's probably going to be kind of a short episode tonight. We're just like messing around with this little box, and then we're done. Messing around with this seesaw. All right, so I would lose at this point. I don't know if you can see that, but it's touching. This arm is touching the ground. This arm is touching the ground. I feel like let me create a little split screen. No, I'm not going to be able to do that. I would have to route one of the cables through. I would have to reroute the cable to get you that floor level camera on the split screen. So let's just say I'm not going to do that, but I'll flip back and forth. All right. So at some points we're going to go to this camera to see if it touches the ground or not. But for now, we're going to start up here. So I'm going to open all these bags. Because I just first want to know if all the blocks are the same size or not. When I look at the picture, they look like they're different sizes. But when I look at the blocks in reality, I'm not seeing them being different sizes. Like if you look at the box, the green one definitely looks smaller. I guess it is going to be smaller, but when you see these blocks in reality, sitting in the bags here, they don't look like much different when they're sitting in the bags, but I guess they will be. Yeah, the blue one is definitely smaller than the red. Let's start with them in the middle just to like get a look at them. So yellow is probably smaller than blue, and then green is the smallest. Well, yellow is not much smaller than blue. It's a little bit smaller, but it's not much smaller. The red one is definitely a bruiser. All right, so there we go. The green one's the smallest. So let's just start loading up a single arm until we break it. It's that we haven't even achieved liftoff. This arm is on the ground. Is it only my arm that I pick that can't touch the ground? Well, I just lost. So that's how easy you can lose. This arm touched the ground. All right, let's say I only put one block. And then let's say someone else puts a block here. It didn't lift off. All right, let's say they put a block here. Now, the further away you put it, the heavier it's going to seem. So basically, that player lost. So I think before you're an expert at this game, they say it's going to take 10, 15 minutes. But I think the first time you play is going to take 10, 15 seconds because, I mean, I placed like 3 blocks and lost twice. So, all right, let's try this again. Let's say player 3 puts a block, I don't know, here. Loses again. It touches the ground. My understanding is it touches the ground, you lose. So we're just losing like crazy. Let's just start again. We're obviously doing something wrong. All right, so I'm going to put a red one here. And then what's going to happen? The next guy is going to put a red one here. And he loses. Wow, this is a tough game. Everything you do, you lose. First of all, I can't even get all of these to lift up at the same time. Am I like placing them too hard? Yeah, like even if it's empty, you can't get them all to lift up. So let's say I put one on. It falls down. But it never lifted up in the first place. So my arm did. It's got to be your arm because this one didn't lift up in the first place. All right, so I put here and I lost. Because this touched the ground over here. I don't know how obvious that is from your angle, but it did touch the ground. I feel like I need to watch the demo of this again. All right, let's start with smaller blocks. All right, I'll put a green one here. Okay. Now let's put a yellow one there too. Oh, we didn't lose. All right, let's try another player puts a blue here. Didn't lose. Okay. Now another player. Well, this is crazy because these ones didn't lift up yet. There's no way. The only place I could put this red and not lose is maybe here. Nope, that's going to lose. I think I would have to put a smaller piece here. All right, that's good. Didn't lose. All right. I just feel like when do we get to put the reds down? I want to start over again because I feel like I'm not getting anywhere. Maybe I need to watch someone else play. One problem is they're touching the ground. All right. I'm going to listen to that how to play video again. But this time I'm going to do it so we can hear it. So now you're not going to see it. But we're going to hear it. All right. No, that's dangerous if I do that. Okay. I'm going to unplug this iPad so I can hear it. But once I do that, it's going to kind of break the connection to what I'm broadcasting from, but I'm just not going to use the iPad anymore this episode. Now we're listening to instructions.
SimplyFun's online school of playology. In this session, we're going to have fun with physics.
Okay.
No, really, we are. With SimplyFun's Kilter, the game of levers and balance, you get to use your judgment and patience to ensure you make the most of each turn.
It's like
Kilter is played with
a lot of advertising here. I just want the instructions. All right, let's see.
Welcome to SimplyFun's online school of playology. In this session, we're going to have fun with physics. No, really, we are. with SimplyFun's Kilter, the game of
I
levers and
accidentally
balance.
rewound it.
You get to use your judgment and patience to ensure you make the most of each turn. Kilter is played with 2 to 4 players ages 8 and up. Kilter comes with a wooden seesaw and wooden blocks. 12 red,
See, there,
16
seesaw
blue,
was touching the ground.
20 yellow, and 24 green ones. The blocks are different sizes and weights to help you make sure you don't tip the scale. Kilter introduces kids to the physics of levers and predicting outcomes. In addition, it helps develop fine motor skills and provides opportunities to assess risk.
Hopefully I don't accidentally rewind it again. I could see this being a good game, like a kid's, like, I mean, nowadays kids have video games, but like when I was growing up, my family used to stay in a trailer during the summer, and it used to be very boring, especially during the weekdays when there was nobody there. If it was decent weather, you could do swimming, you could do basketball and stuff, but if it was raining, that was like really boring, like sitting in that trailer in the rain. This game, I definitely could see my older brother and I playing this game when we were kids, like competitively, like really trying to win. So I think it's a good game, but let's watch the video keep going. I mean, as you see, I tried to get it and I got nowhere, but let's keep listening. Over time, I imagine I would learn how to play it. The video is not playing. All right, let's try. It's not playing.
Reward.
All right, here we go.
One too many blocks on the wrong arm of the seesaw, and boom, you get to clean up the mess and take the blocks home. To set up the game, place the seesaw in the center of the table so all players can reach it easily. Note that 2 of the arms will rest on the table, and 2 of the arms will be in the air. Players receive the colored, weighted blocks according to the number of players in the game. Consult the rules booklet for correct distribution. The object of the game is to be the first player to place all your blocks on the seesaw. Players take turns placing blocks on one elevated seesaw arm at a time.
One at a
Blocks may
time.
be placed next to or on top of previously placed blocks as shown. During your turn, you must place at least 1 block on one of the seesaw's elevated arms, and you may continue to place more blocks on the same arm until you choose to stop. One of the elevated arms dips down and touches the table.
So my understanding here is you have to stay with the same arm for that turn. You have to stay for the same arm from that turn. But then when you relinquish your turn, someone else goes, then you can pick another arm. And you have to put down at least 1 block. You can put down as many as you want. But you have to stay with that arm for the length of that turn. That's my understanding.
Or any blocks fall off. If any of these events occurs, your turn is over. If your turn ends because blocks fall, you now own them and must put them in your pile. Here are some rules for placing blocks. There are 4 intersecting arms on the seesaw, each containing 6 spaces marked by dividers. Again, you may only place your blocks on one arm that is elevated off the table. You may not place blocks in the center space where the arms intersect. You may only place 1 block at a time, even though multiple blocks can rest on a single space and blocks may hang over the edge. You may stack blocks on top of each other, but once you play the block, you may not readjust it, even if the seesaw tips or shifts.
No readjusting
You may not touch
blocks.
the seesaw, even to rotate it. Also,
No touching the seesaw, no readjusting blocks. I hadn't seen that in the instructions, so that's worth noting. Oh my goodness, I rewound it again. This touchscreen is annoying. All right, let me see if I can get it back to where it was, or roughly back to where it was. I don't know why it won't just play. All right, this thing is done. Forget about the iPad. No, we're getting no more instructions from that today. All right, let's just try to do this. All right. These 2 are on the ground. But really, why are those 2 on the ground? Like, why? Like, these 2 are on the ground, but, like, why aren't these ones on the ground? Does it mean my table is slanted? Like, what about these 2 arms is making them go to the ground? Let's just put one here. All right, now that one's on the ground. So I lost. But I lost because I dropped it. I dropped it like, all right, so definitely it favors this side. Now, is that the table or is that the fulcrum? Let's spin it around and see what happens. That's the fulcrum. Because when I put it over here, now it drops. Let's move 90 degrees. Drops. 180. Drops. Yeah, something about this fulcrum sends this arm down every time. All right, so let's put a green here. All right. Now let's consider it's the next person's turn. And they're going to put a blue here. All right. I thought for sure I was going to lose there. All right. Continuing with that person's turn, they're going to put a green here. Now, I could go for the win. I only got one block left, but really I would have a lot more blocks if we were playing for real. So let's just keep playing. Next person's turn. This arm is still on the ground. This arm here is still on the ground. This one. So I don't think we can use that arm. That's my understanding. Once they all take flight, then you can't. Then we're going to know real quickly who's the winner. I'm kind of stalling here. All right, let's just... This arm's on the ground, so let's put this here. No, here. I feel like if I put it there, it's going to tilt too far. No, I am going to put it there. All right, we've achieved liftoff. All the arms are now in the air. This one is barely, but it's in the air. All right, so... Let's... Oh my goodness, this bag was under the arm. Everything we were doing was bogus. All right, let's try again. You know what? Let's do it for real. Let's set up a two-person game, and I'll play as both people. So, two-person game. Two-player game, 6, 8, 10. No, 4, 6, 8, 10. 4 red, 6 blue, 8 yellow, 10 green. All right, so 4. I'm going to set up these two players on opposite sides. 4, and 6. Hit the board there, but who cares? Should I just dump these out? It would be quicker, right? Let me dump them into my hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. And then 8 of these and 10 of the other. This is crazy. All right. There's 5. 3 more is 8. And I'll get the first 4 greens there. This is going to take forever. All right, there's 4 yellow. The problem is, I don't think I'm going to win. That's why I'm saying it's going to take forever. Like, I feel like I should reduce it to half, because I think it's more likely that someone loses than someone wins. By win, you got to get rid of all your pieces, and I don't see that happening. Like, look how many pieces we got going on here. I don't see any player getting rid of all of their pieces. So... And if we just keep playing to loss, it's going to be boring and annoying. So I think what I'm going to do is get rid of half of these pieces. So we're now not playing by the rules. But maybe we get a game to complete this way. So as a result, we're going to have... 2 red, 3 blue. Oh, it should be 5 green, right? 4 yellow and 5 green. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the new way we're playing. All right, so let's get this thing on camera. And let's start a game. All right. These 2 arms are currently down. All right. I don't know what's the best angle. Maybe this is the best angle to show you. Yeah. It's a little weird. You're seeing the monitor second time back there. But that's what we got. All right. So let's do... This player is going. So he starts with a green. You know, I feel like this is kind of a freebie because this side didn't even lift off yet. Yeah, I'm going to stop there. I'm not going to put any more pieces. But with this next character, I'm going to start with a red. So I feel like he's already got an advantage. Okay. We still got 2 sides that didn't even lift off yet. All right. So this guy is going to put maybe green here. Okay, so he lost. All right, so that's a loss. This is what I feared. We're going to have losses instead of wins. I know that you're thinking like, well, one team win, one loses, but like I don't want to win by default. I want to clear out all the pieces. But that could take 15 minutes, as the instructions said. All right, let's start with a red this time. All right, good. Let's see if we can get a yellow out there, too. Nope. I see, another loss. All right. Now this guy's going to start with a red. But he's going to stop. He's not going to get greedy. Player 2 is going to counter with a red. All right, player 2 is also going to toss a green out there. And he lost. Player 2 lost. It's going to be a long night. I thought it would be a short night. All right, player 1 puts a red. Player 1 also puts a blue, but stacks it right next to the red. Nice. Player 2 puts... What? Player 2 lost by way of jostling this thing. All right. You just have to play this game for yourself. I don't think I can stack it up. I haven't yet developed the skill. So probably the first weekend you play this, it's going to be a lot of wins via the other guy losing, which is frankly the way Jenga always works. But if you play it a lot, you probably get skilled and you can get rid of all your pieces. I'm not at that skill level yet. What I am is John Rapp, and this is Just Rest Your Eyes. Good night, and see you tomorrow.